Okay, this here is the first look at my center console that I am going to custom build. We're about to take you through about how the setup is going to be. Okay. Now, this right here is going to be this right here. It's a USB ports and cigarette lighter, every vehicle has one. It's gonna be put right here. Okay. Next thing on the list, this whole thing is going to be wrapped in vinyl liner with black and red leather stitching. It's gonna look real nice. The whole thing is gonna be wrapped in it. Next thing is battery cutoff switches. I have two of these for primary and secondary battery. Primary battery, secondary battery, cutoff switch. Next up on the list is a key. That's going to be this guy right here. The key switch is going to turn on this whole control panel, and it's going to turn on the battery isolator. It's going to turn on the PSI gauges, all the PSI gauges and everything like that. Next up on the list, this right here is the fuse box that's basically going to run this whole system right here. This right here is this panel right here. So you flip the switch on after you've already turned the key, and then you're good to start the truck right here. But first, the factory key has to be in the ignition and turn over. You cannot start it with the factory key, but it has to be in the ignition and you have to turn it over. And this key here has to also be on, or the truck will not start. And then this right here is going to be for my drain belt for tank 1, tank 2, and then my transfer pump. And that is, these guys right here, and that's the push to start button there. So next up, we have the battery isolator. It's going to be hooked up to these two battery cutoff switches here. So when the battery turns on, it will send power to this. And then if this is on, it will then send power to this, to that battery. And it will isolate the battery and control the voltage level. Prevent the battery from being overcharged or too undercharged. This right here isn't the exact strobe light controller panel. It doesn't have this digital thing right there, and the light configuration is a little bit different. But that little guy is gonna be right there. Next up on the list is bag control unit. This guy right here sits right here. Okay. Yeah, front airbags, rear airbags, two different PSI gauges, and it lights up. So when you flip this switch, it will light up. Next up on the list is I honestly didn't buy this actually. It came with my winch. So I'm just gonna stick with it, use it. Don't need nothing fancy for the winch, cause I already have everything else that I need that tells me the voltage, everything else, and that guy's gonna be right there to turn on the winch. Right here is going to be base level knob, and that guy's gonna sit right there on the driver's side, as far up as possible so my hip or my leg don't bump it. Next up on the list, cup holder. This right here is gonna be stationed on the front right here, and it's gonna look real nice because the whole center console is gonna be wrapped in that black and red diamond stitched leather, which is also water and stain resistant or repellent. It's gonna be a fully custom built. Wires are gonna be running through the floor this way, out the back of the cab, you know, to where it needs to go, and then wires can be running this way through the floor, up through the firewall to the primary battery and everything like that. Here is an amplifier. I don't need to show you guys a picture of that. If you don't know what an amplifier is, go read a book. That is my center console control unit. And I'm gonna be building it hopefully by tomorrow. If I get to it, I still have a lot of work to do. I still have to rip the seats out. I still have to pull up the carpet. I still have to run wires through it. So when I install it, everything is gonna be plug and play. So I've thought about this for months. I've never wrote it on paper or anything like that, and I just keep thinking about it, thinking how I'm gonna wire things up, see how things are gonna work, everything else like this. And this right here, this is the best setup for what I'm doing. Obviously, everything's gonna be a little bit different. Everything's not exact size. One last thing is that this whole unit right here that's on angle, it's gonna be on hinges, so you're gonna be able to flip this whole thing up like that. And also all the cables and everything, this right here is the lid that's going to lift up. There's gonna be hinges right here, and then all the cables are gonna run through here, down here, through underneath, and then underneath the carpet in the truck. So, and then and then before I put the fabric on there and stuff, I'm gonna pre-drill holes in it and everything like that. For all my switches, everything like that. And then also for the zip ties. So when I go to install everything, I have somewhere to put zip ties and, do cable management. I'm very big on cable management. I redid my whole end in cable management and everything else like that, and you will see that here shortly as well. But this is a massive build. I've worked five consecutive days, almost 13, 14 hours straight, working on the truck, getting everything ready for this. So, and I've thought about this since last year in October. And now my crazy ideas are slowly coming to life, and it's gonna be great. And I hope you guys stay for the ride because it's gonna be a rough one, but we're gonna get the job done. And remember, stay country.